Good morning, everyone. Happy Monday. I am Carol Williams with Williams Immigration, and we are here with another edition of Beyond the Soundbite, where we talk about all things U.S. immigration. So, I like to dive right in. First thing I want to talk about is a policy change coming from USCIS that gave us absolutely no notice. So, USCIS now requires the medical report to be submitted with adjustment of status applications. So they made this announcement December 2nd, and it was also effective December 2nd. So some folks were reeling and for various reasons had not planned on filing their medical with their application and were getting ready to file that day and had to hold off on filing. So if you are filing an adjustment of status, essentially from today forward, make sure that you have the medical report in that application package. We have gone several years without having to do that, and as of last Monday, USCIS changed their mind, made an announcement, and boom, it's effective. So just make sure that you have your medical, and the medical is on form I-693. And there is a link on the USCIS website where you can find an approved USCIS doctor to do the medical exam and complete the medical form. When you get your medical form back, your completed medical form back from the doctor, it will be sealed. It must remain sealed. Do not open it. It gets submitted to USCIS still sealed. If it is opened, they will not accept it. So keep that in mind as well. The next thing I want to talk to you about is, I know you're shocked, H-1B season, but not this upcoming H-1B season. Right? I'm going to talk to you a little bit about fiscal year 2025 cap season, which is what just officially ended. So that lottery just officially ended. USCIS announced that they have received enough applications to reach the 85,000 mandated cap. So 20,000 of that 85 is a set aside for individuals who received a master's degree from a U.S. institution. So if you are getting, or if you have received an email in your inbox or a notice in your My USCIS account, it should at this point be saying that you are not selected for the 2025 cap. But as always, go in, check your My USCIS account, make sure that that is what it is saying. That means you are officially not selected for the lottery that took place in March of last year. So that brings me to my next topic, is that the current H-1B season, fiscal year 2026, is starting. And so you want to kind of think about, whether you want to re-enter yourself in the lottery or re-enter that employee into the lottery. As you know, over the next couple of months, I will talk to you about that. But as of today, fiscal year 2025 cap season is officially closed. Next thing I want to talk to y'all about is SEAC, the NVC system, where if you are using that system, if you are applying for a green card overseas, or you're applying for a fiancé visa, or you're applying for a visitor visa, B1, B2, you have to touch the SEAC system. So essentially, if you're filling out a DS-160 or a DS-260, we use SEAC to make payments and upload documents. It's kind of the bulk of what we use SEAC for. And, a little bit of messaging comes from NVC through SEAC, through the messages portion. And so we are still seeing system errors and error messages that are affecting the payments and the document upload. So kind of the two big things that we use the system for. There's a help button on the website. Feel free to use that, but it is sort of like ongoing error messages that are plaguing the system at this point. Department of State is fully aware of these. They are working on them. So we just got to kind of roll with the punches a little bit on this one. I wish I had better news with respect to that. The next thing I want to talk to you about is the skills list, the exchange visitor skills list. What is that, Carol? You might be asking. Well, let me tell you. So individuals that come into the U.S. as in J-1 status, they are exchange visitors. Typically, they are coming to learn a skill. They are interns, they are au pairs, they are trainees, they are teachers. There are several other categories that fit under the J-1 visa category. So some of these folks, when they apply for and receive and enter on a J-1, they are subject to what's called the 2-year foreign residency requirement. They are required to go back to their home country or country of last residence for 2 years. And the idea behind this 2-year foreign residency requirement is that they go back home and they share the skills which they have learned while they were in the U.S. In some cases, you can ask the U.S. government to waive that 2-year foreign residency requirement. So that is the skills list in a nutshell. If your country and the occupation is listed on, or the skill, I should say, if the country and the skill is listed on the skills list, then you will be subject to that 2-year foreign residency requirement. You will be required to go home for a minimum of 2 years, share that skill if you do not qualify for to have that requirement waived. So we've been dealing with the same skills list for, I don't know, to me it seems like forever and like 5 days. So today, actually, Department of State should be releasing an updated and revised skills list. So we will see what's on it, see what's different, what's new, all the things, and then we'll certainly let you know. But just wanted to alert y'all that's a crucial list if you are thinking about coming to the U.S. As an exchange visitor in J-1 status. So you always want to know on the front end whether or not you will be subject to that 2-year foreign residency requirement before you dive into coming here in J-1 status. The next thing I want to talk to you about is our national interest waiver tip. So as you know, national interest waiver is a second preference category of receiving a green card. And in order to qualify for a national interest waiver, your proposed endeavor has to have both substantial merit and national importance. So whatever you want to do in the U.S., whatever your career path is, has to have both substantial merit and national importance. Second, you have to show that you're well positioned to advance the proposed endeavor. So can you do it? Do you have the background to really do what you say you want to do? Do you have the background to do what you say you are capable of doing? And third, on balance, is it beneficial to the United States to waive the requirements? And so when we say, is it beneficial to waive these requirements, it is the requirements for sort of the plain Jane regular EB-2, which is a perm application. It is advertising for the position, ensuring that there are no current U.S. citizens who could take this job. So those are the requirements for national interest waiver. The tip is that you don't have to be living in the U.S. to apply for national interest waiver. You can absolutely be living outside of the U.S. And remember that national interest waiver, it's a 2-part application. So the first part is, the I-140, the national interest waiver, telling the Immigration Service all about your proposed endeavor. So you don't have to be in the U.S. for that piece. If you are outside of the U.S. when you file, the next piece, your like the last piece, your green card application itself, you would just process that via a U.S. consulate overseas. So you do not have to be in the U.S. to process a national interest waiver application. That last piece of the puzzle, that last application is run through the consulate. Now, if you are in the U.S., you can apply as well. And that last piece would be an adjustment of status, and that would be processed through a service center here in the U.S. So I hope that is helpful. I've gotten that question a little bit lately, so I wanted to spread it out amongst more people. But I am Carol Williams. I am lead attorney with Williams Immigration, a boutique immigration law firm. If you have any questions about the National Interest Waiver or the upcoming H-1B lottery season or the skills list, or you're looking to hire someone that's not a U.S. citizen, you're not quite sure what that process looks like, how to start, how to go about it, feel free to give my office a call. We will set you up with a consultation. Have a beautiful rest of your Monday and a great rest of your week. Bye, everybody.